G'day, Josh from In Yard Homestead. Well, today's video I'm in the kitchen again and I will be making some kombucha. Okay, so I've got a 10 litre pot here and I've got just over 8 litres of water. You might as well say 8 litres because it's not that far over, which is just over 2 gallons. So I'm doing a double batch. So we'll put that on to start boiling. And I use green and white tea. I use a blend. So I'm doing a double batch. So it's four green tea. And then I'll use 6 white tea. That seems to be a nice blend. So there's 10 tea bags that I use. Okay, so firstly I'll start by untying it all. I'm going to take these bits off as well, so it's just a string in the bag. What I'll do now is I'll get them together like so. And we'll tie this one off first. There's one lot tied in a bundle. We'll do another bundle. Just makes it easier to take it out instead of taking a whole heap of individual bags out at the end. You're taking just 1 or 2 bundles out, and then I'll tie these 2 together as well. So it's one nice big bundle then. There we go. One nice big bundle. Let's go put that in the pot and get it boiling. So I just chuck it all in, get it really soaked up so it can, obviously the water's not hot yet, it's warm, but there we go. So those bags are ready, so we'll bring that to a boil. I'll put the lid on so it'll boil faster. And then once that's boiled, we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so it's boiling away now. So I'm going to take the lid off. Just let that, whoop, look at that steam. Oh, and that tea smells good too. Okay, so while it's boiling away, I've got 2 cups of sugar, or just under 2 cups, but you might as well say 2 cups of sugar. Remembering that this is a double batch, so normally for 1 gallon or for 4 litres roughly is 1 cup, but with the double I'll put 2 in, and then we'll just let that all dissolve. Yeah, just let that sugar dissolve. Okay, so that feels like it might be all dissolved now. So what I do, wow, that steam really makes it unfocus. Alright, so that's all dissolved now. So what I do is I turn that off. I'll put the lid back on and I'll let that sit overnight now to cool down. Then in the morning I'll show you the next step. Okay, it's the next morning now, so ready to get our tea into the brewer's bucket and add the Scoby. So I'll show you how I do that. So the tea's had plenty of time to cool down overnight. Whoops, dripping water everywhere. I'll just grab the tongs, so I'll grab these tea bags out. Make sure your hands are nice and clean as well. So I'm just gonna, let's see if we can move that. Hopefully this is all getting it. I just squeeze the remainder fluid out of the tea, but like I said, make sure your hands are nice and clean. And now pour into the bucket, or if you're doing it on a smaller scale, you can do it in large jars. And just pour that in. And now we can add the Scoby. I've got the Scoby Hotel here. That's just a airlock, a bubbler. You can use cloth to cover, but I've tried that and wasn't so good to start with. So I prefer using the bubbler. So let's show you the Scoby. So that's my Scoby Hotel, and I've got one nice big Scoby in here. So let's get that now into, yeah, they're very alien-like. A very rubbery feeling. So let's get this Scoby up into, oh, try not to make too much of a mess. Once your Scoby's in there, you want to add some of the liquid from your hotel. So I'm trying to do this one-handed. So I've added probably about a third of the liquid that I had in there because there wasn't much. And I'll top that back up with some of this to help feed the Scoby as well and keep it going until the next brew. So yeah, so the Scoby goes in with part of the liquid as well to help it start. Okay, so now I've got the bubbler on, and there's a little line that guides you to fill it up to. And what happens when it builds up pressure with all the gases, that will bubble out without letting any air or any contaminations getting into the actual brew. So I set it in the back room here because it's a nice warm room. So now we've got to leave this for 7 to 11 days. Normally in this weather that we're having at the moment, nice warm weather, it only takes the 7 days. Bit cooler weather, it'll take up to about 11, or if you want that stronger bit of a vinegary kick as well, take it a little bit longer. But I don't mind, the 7 days is about the right for how I like it, but it's just to your taste, I suppose. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the second ferment with the fruit. Now it's time for the second ferment. It smells good. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so I'll show you the Scoby. And see, whoops, because of the bigger bucket, it's grown all the way around. So that's the original size. So what I'll do now is I'll take the Scoby out of here, put it back into the hotel, but I'll have to fold it up a bit. And yes, and add some more liquid from this one into there so they kept fed as well. And as always, remember to keep your hands clean. Yeah, look at that beautiful Scoby. This is my best Scoby. This one does all the best brews. So now, put this one over so I don't make too much mess. So now I'll grab some of the liquid and put it into my Scoby Hotel. Yeah, that'll do. And that'll be ready for when I do the next batch. Okay, so now for the second ferment, which is the fruit. So all I'm using, fresh fruit would be better, but I haven't got fresh passion fruit, so I'm using passion fruit pulp with in syrup, and that works just as well for flavouring and ferments well. So I've got 2 cans, and they are, where is it? 170 grams of passion fruit pulp and syrup. So I just dump that in there. Nothing flash. Any stuff that's left in the can, just give it a rinse in there. Can number 2. Nothing flash. Just whack it in there. Let's go a little bit. That's pretty much it. And that's what it looks like. Now that you could drink that now without the flavouring. That would be no problem at all after you've strained it, to make sure that you get any of the sediment and stuff out. But yeah, the second ferment, that's just for your flavouring. So this one's the passion fruit. So we'll put the lid back on now and the bubbler back in. And in 2 days' time, that should be a good flavoured kombucha. There we go. See you in 2 days. So the second ferment is finished now. So we'll just take this off the bubbler. That can go in the sink. I've got some bottles all ready to go, nice and clean. And I've got a stainless steel pot here with a strainer. And then I've got some chuck cloth, which I use to strain as well through. And then there's another smaller strainer there. So I'll filter it all through this, and then we can bottle it up. But you can also use coffee filters as well if you want to filter it down even finer. But this does the job. This is not too bad. I just double over the chuck cloth, and that seems to be fine. There is a little bit of sediment, but not a lot. But if you want to take it further, you can use coffee filters. You can see all the passion fruit is floated to the top, and that's nicely fermented. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. This smells so good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape this up and get rid of it straight away. So now the rest will just get strained off into there. And all I do is I just literally tip it in. As it gets along, it will slow down a lot more because of all the sediment collecting in the cloth. And it just takes a little bit more time to go through, but that's okay. So you can see the seed there. I'll get rid of that into the compost. This is where it will really slow down because there's a lot of sediment in the bottom of the brew. That's okay, you just leave it go and come back later. Alright. Yeah, that will take a little bit of time to drain out. So we'll let that go and we'll come back and then we can bottle it up. So it's all drained now. So I'll just get rid of all this. I just tip it into the jug. One litre. I've got 1 litre bottles. There we go. Lid on. And that's 1 passion fruit kombucha. So this is the finished product. 8 litres of good old passion fruit kombucha. Now all there is to have a glass. There we go, that's enough for now. That's yum. Absolutely beautiful. Alright guys, I'll leave the recipe in the description box down below so you can follow along. This was a double batch that I made. So yeah, the recipe will be for a single batch. So that'll make 4 litres, not 8 litres, unless you double it. So alright, thanks for watching guys. Till next time, get going, get growing, and God bless you guys.